Welcome to the Maplewood Heritage Preservation Commission meeting, Monday, May 18th, 2026. It is 7 PM. We can start.
Madam, or Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
does the meeting have to be announced on the internet? Because on the internet, we have it was March
The meeting is on the
meeting
city.
schedule.
The meeting is currently on the city calendar. Well, so if you go to the website, tonight's meeting is scheduled. I haven't updated the packet, but the meeting itself is scheduled on the thing.
I just saw it at 5 o'clock, it was past meeting.
Okay, so first we will take roll. So Bob Cardinal here, David Hughes. Joel Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer? Joel Pfeiffer? And John Gasper? Present. Richard Curry? Richard Curry?
I'm here.
Pete Boulay?
Sometimes.
And Christy Reese is not here at present. And when she does, if she does come, we will mark her in attendance.
You gotta talk up so you can hear.
Okay, thank you. Okay, first thing we're going to do is look at the agenda. Approve of the agenda. Any additions or changes? I'd like to make a change, an addition on the agenda.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
we can add the county fair and adding buildings and houses for our historical list.
Okay,
Oh,
so,
and I was also asked by a staff member if we were going to do anything for the 80th birthday of Maplewood.
okay, so number 8 under items would be county fair, and that's July. We'll
Well,
add
the one
that.
that asked for the 80th is our city manager.
So number 9 was what? Building what?
Be the 70th,
Huh?
not the 80th. Yeah.
Huh?
70th.
Well, first,
No, 80th.
well, first off, Richard, what was the building?
You got it up? Yeah, in another couple of years, it's going to be 80.
No, 70. We're off the rails already. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, Richard, number 9 was building what?
One was county fair.
That's number 8. Number 9 is building?
Buildings that could still go on the historic preservation list, and 10 would be houses that we have to investigate them.
Okay, you want number 10 to be,
Houses,
okay,
old homes. We haven't done that since we started,
okay. And under.
and that was before Joe.
Okay. Okay, so houses, history, additions. Okay. And then under 11, we will add, we will have a review of the oldest building in Maplewood. I happen to not be here at that meeting, and I would like to know what the oldest building in Maplewood is, so.
Or we could just call it the birthday party. Forget about the year.
And then number 12 would be 80th year city.
That would be the 70th, right? I think we had this, it's 70th, not 80th.
Was it 70?
Yeah,
57 to
2027.
2027, that'd be 80th.
I was
Or
born in 57. I will not be 80 next year.
I'll be close to 80 by that time.
Okay, 70. Okay, that is the changes that are added. Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Okay, John Gasper, is there a second?
I'll second.
Richard seconds. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we have an agenda. And then we'll move on to approval of the minutes. I see it in front of me. Everybody have that? Thank you, Joe. You have it, John? Okay. Take a look at it. Is there a motion to approve the minutes for March 12th?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dave and John. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Okay, let's move on to new business. First, introduction of Joel. Joel will introduce Joel.
Yes, we have a swearing in tonight. So I'm going to ask Commissioner Pfeiffer to step forward.
Last chance.
Stay right about here. And then I'm just going to clip, I'll have you slide that in your pocket here. Yeah, you slide that in your pocket. And then we won't make it super fancy, but this is for the recording, so you have it. There you go, perfect. All right, so now you raise your hand here. I, Commissioner Joel Pfeiffer,
I, Commissioner Joel Pfeiffer,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Minnesota,
and the state of Minnesota,
and faithfully discharge
and faithfully discharge
the duties of
the duties of
Commission member on the Heritage Preservation Commission. Sorry,
Commission
Commission member
member of the Heritage Preservation Commission
in the city of Maplewood,
in the city of Maplewood,
to the best of my judgment and ability.
to the best of my judgment and ability.
All right, awesome, we got it done. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Slip you- I just have you sign this as we go. All right, oh, I don't want this one. I'll hold this while you pull that in. Sounds good. All right, perfect. I'll grab this, take the mic. Beautiful. All right, and then I'll just have you sign this when you get a chance. And then John, you've always got it. All right, and then from there, we'll probably ask. Yeah, have you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about why you decided to join the commission.
So I'm Joel
It's Pfeiffer, right?
Pfeiffer,
Pfeiffer, okay.
and I'm retired. So I was a engineer at 3M for 30 years. I live in South Maplewood, as I call it, about a mile south of Battle Creek Park. And, I own a home since 1996 down in South Maplewood. And I've always been interested in history, preservation activities. And when I saw the notice in the Maplewood Living, I said, I think I've got the time for it. Sounds interesting. So here I am.
Well, welcome. Welcome, Joel. I think we agree with you. Well, thank you. Any questions for Joel, or are you going to let him go? Pete?
I have a quick question. Any relation to the other Pfeiffer's spelled with PF? Yeah, okay, different family. Just checking. Just checking.
Okay. Well, welcome, Joel.
Thank you.
So before we go any further, does anybody have anything that they want to share that is on their mind? Richard, do you have anything you want to share? That's it.
I'll wait until
All right, you're done.
proper time this time. I don't want to get
John,
over-talked.
John, you're up. Do you have anything you want to share?
Nope.
Go ahead. Do you have anything you want to
Nope,
share?
no.
Okay, okay, let's see if I, David? Joe, do you have anything you want to share?
No, we're good, thanks.
And let's see, what do I have to share? I got one thing I want to share. I want everybody to know, and you're going to be my witness on this, that today is International Museum Day. Am I right? Today is International Museum Day.
Did you want to be put in a museum?
All right, that's what I had to share. Okay. Okay, we're moving on to election of chair and vice chair. Joe?
At this time, I would take a motion. Our current chair is Commissioner Cardinal, and our current vice chair is Commissioner Gaspar. Every year at our meeting between April and May, we have to distinguish a new chair and a new vice chair. So at this point, I'll put it back to the commission to accept or entertain a nomination for vice chair first.
I'll nominate John Gasper, vice chair. Anybody else? That's one. David, do you have anything? No. Okay.
Any other nominations? If there are no other nominations, I would request a motion to,
White ballot it.
well, if we only have one nomination, right, we
Well,
would,
it's a white ballot motion for vice chair.
Oh, we have one.
all right,
Okay.
do we have any?
That way you don't have to write a whole bunch of paperwork.
Yeah, but, okay.
All right.
The-
John has
I'm
been,
not trying to get out of paperwork, I'm just trying to,
John, you willing to take the position? Okay.
okay. And I would just ask for we could just move forward, because there's only one nomination, I would just say move forward with the motion to nominate John as vice chair. So if somebody wants to make the motion and
I'll
second
make a
it.
motion to have John Gasper be vice chair.
Where's the-
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Congratulations, John. You're vice chair. Moving on to chair. Any nominations?
I nominate Bob.
Thank you. I'll accept nomination. Anyone else? Any other nominations? Any other nominations?
I
David?
nominate Richard Carey.
Okay, Richard, you willing
Yep.
to accept it?
Yeah, I'll accept it.
Okay. All right, we have Richard and Bob.
I nominate David.
David? Sure. Okay. All right.
What, did Bob decline?
Oh, no. we
No,
have-
so right now we have a Gasper nominates Cardinal, David Hughes nominates Curry, and then Gasper also, I don't know enough about the Roberts rules to know if you could nominate more than one person.
Oh, okay. I withdraw then.
And I don't have,
Well, you could decide which one you want to, you don't have to withdraw, you've done two, you could decide which one that you wanted to nominate.
Okay, there you have it, Joe. We have two candidates for chair. Richard Curry, Bob Cardinal. We just take a vote?
This one, we would do ballot, so I would just here, what do you have, 6 of you? 1, 2, 3, yeah, 6.
That's what I don't have.
Actually, we don't have Christie. Well, no, I was gonna say we can wait till Christie comes. We can table this part of the motion till the end and see if Christie shows. Otherwise, so, that's up to you guys.
We'll vote, we don't know if she's
So
coming.
you have 2 nominations, you have Cardinal and you have Curry as your nominees. Operator, I'm going to come back to your booth and do the counting. I need a witness.
Guess I could be a witness.
Pete could. There, Pete.
I have no horse in the race.
You have no horses in the race. Let me make sure I have the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ballots. All right, let's do it this way. I won't be dramatic and do them one at a time.
Okay, audible gasp.
Bob Scott.
All right, so with 4 votes for Cardinal and 1 vote for Curry, we have to still make a motion, so Commissioner Cardinal has gotten the nomination. We just need to make a motion to officially accept the nomination. So we need a motion to officially accept the nomination of Cardinal and a second and a vote.
Okay, John, make a motion.
Make a motion to accept Bob Cardinal.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thanks, David. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I'll make a motion to destroy the ballots.
Okay, thank you.
We need something for the museum today, don't we?
That's right. Okay, we have an election.
If there is there a second on the motion to destroy the ballots? We typically do for the last.
I'll make a motion to second,
Okay.
destroy the ballots.
Okay, and then you could take the roll, or you could take the voice
All
vote.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? That's 5-0.
Okay.
Okay. We can move on to reconsidering KSTP Tower or other properties for designation. Joe?
All right, Chairman, Cardinal, and Commission. At this point, what I would suggest doing is, right now, we have a consideration of KSTP Tower or other properties for designation. If we wanted to move up item number 9, buildings and housing, that could still go on the list. If, I believe it was Chairman or Commissioner Curry who brought that up, if there were particular properties that you feel could go on this list, and then we could have a bigger pool. Where we left off with the KSTP Tower is that there was a party that had gone in, filled out the SHPO information form, and declared that it was essentially potentially eligible for historic preservation, but they kind of stopped there. In order for us to designate something, the actual person who owns it or the entity who owns it has to come to us. We reached out to KSTP. KSTP was non-responsive to our offer. And so now we're in a situation where they've never reached back out to say, yes, we'll fill out the paperwork and apply for designation. So if that's the case and you believe there are other eligible properties that we could then move forward on,
Okay,
we'll
Joe,
entertain those at the time.
Chairman,
Richard?
what I was trying to get, see if I can clear my throat. What we have, or supposed to have, we have basically 2 lists of one of Maplewood area buildings that are historic for Maplewood. And then as time goes on, they have to come to us if they want to go get their names pushed any farther. The same thing with homes. We have a list of 100-year-old homes, but that was back down in, 80-something that we did it. So we have to add to that list. The thing is, too, then let's take and draw some type of a letter or information to send to these businesses, what have you, to let them know that they could come on the list of, get yourself put onto the national deal. Instead of us going through like tried to do here with reconsidering KSTP, St. Jerome's, the mausoleum down at Forest Lawn. Let them, give them the information and let them come to us every so often, send them a letter or what have you. Get what I'm,
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Curry. I appreciate that. What I'd like to add to that, to kind of frame up the argument or frame up the point here, is in addition, I know we did this list that you have listed 1983, but Commissioner Koski and I know Commissioner Hughes had done a good job, and Gaspar, over the summer of collecting the next list of 100-year-old homes, and we do have a listing of that. So what we can do, to your point, and I would have to double check and see like what the authority of the city to do this is, we could draft a letter to the properties asking them if they would be open to the possibility of us continuing to explore some type of historic designation. Granted that, the house still generally has to be intact from the time of the period, and also that something historic or it's part of a bigger historic district. So, go ahead.
We should also tell them the consequences that we're not gonna take over their home or their
yes.
business. You have to explain to them so they don't get scared away.
Okay.
yeah, it's more to get the word out. Yes, we have homes that we, the group here, has decided it would be nice to put them on a historic list, but it's, from that point on, they have to come to us if they want to go any farther down the road.
So what I would suggest is I could work with the rest of the staff to, okay, sorry.
Does a template for this letter exist already? Or?
I don't believe it does, no. And I also have to just double check to make sure we're within our authority to send a letter like this. So
It would have to go through the legal.
yeah, I would work with staff internally to draft a letter, and then I would bring that letter back at our next meeting for your approval. And I, again, or it could be one of those things where I could find somebody on the committee, because the thing is, I could work with you so just so you know, Joel, because of open records laws, I could only work with you each individually, because if I work with you as a group, it's a quorum and it has to be, so if I send an email to everybody, you can't collectively respond. So what I would probably do is designate one person or two to just draft the letter. This way, once we draft the letter, I don't want to get all the way to next meeting and there's objections to the letter. I want a letter that's going to be pretty close enough to pass muster and be able to send out. I don't want something that's way off.
There might be some in the history that we have, that letter. Pete?
Yeah, I would definitely go
Yeah.
back to
Yeah.
ones you've done before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pete, can you recall if we sent a letter in the past?
A letter of sorts, but I don't know if there was any template for a letter.
Oh.
I mean, I know we did just trying to remember going back, what other places we reached out to. The mausoleum should have got one, I would think, at one time, The Priory place too, I would think. Just trying to,
Priory, they were toying with it, but they wanted to do something.
the most comprehensive one would have been to Ramsey County for the cemetery. That one actually was very well flushed out. So that could be a template, because that one was well done.
And that was probably 10 years ago?
It's right before COVID.
Right before
That's when
COVID,
it
okay.
ended, when
Right.
COVID happened. So.
Okay. So that give you some guideline, Joe.
Yeah, okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, sounds good. We can move on to number 4, Maplewood Heritage Award. Joe?
So at this point, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Just to go back to the KSTP.
Yep.
Did that just fall in a crack, or did you not see interest there?
So maybe, as Joe, or we have put in our minutes here, Forest Lawn Cemetery did not want to participate because of the costs. If you change something, there's costs. And KSTP might have the same scenario. We don't even, who knows who owns that building? Maybe it's KSTP, but if they're not responding, you probably,
The other thing, Bob, too, is, and this goes probably to Joe a little bit more, is to work out some type of funding like they did with the homes that they were gonna give money to fix them up.
Oh.
Historic,
Who's gonna give the money?
huh? There's a grant that you can, these places will give. I don't know.
There is a state grant fund. I'm not sure of all the details on the state grant fund, but there is a state grant fund that will allow for heritage preservation of certain types of properties. I don't know all the ins and outs of how it works.
I'm just wondering if our letter went to the appropriate person.
Yeah.
Or not.
Yeah, I could double check. What I did is I reached out, because I have some knowledge, some prior knowledge of that KSTP likely owns it. So I did reach out to the public affairs representative who I know outside of other channels, and I did reach out multiple times. I just had not heard back from them. So probably the best way to go is just double check property records, see who in fact is who's on file as the property owner, and then send the certified follow-up letter to entertain it. And then we know at that point we've exhausted all angles.
Because I think that's one of our headaches. Nobody knows the funding is a key. If they don't have funding for it, they're not gonna say, yes, we're gonna do it. You gotta have something.
Yeah, and I don't know if you could
Financial.
proactively earmark money for them for fixes down the road.
Well, it
So
would be-
maintenance, so I don't think we could earmark money. If they were going to do a fix in the short term to make it historic, that's where that money is. It's not something you could petition for the money and then hold it in escrow until they're ready to make
You
the,
have the fund, and then if they apply, we can apply and divvy up some of it or whatever.
yeah, that's not the way that fund works, I don't believe.
You don't take your wallet out and say, here's $100 and, good.
Well, this is something that we can all be aware of when we have that convention this summer, that we have that question in mind, that is there funding, state funding or national or federal funding or whatever, to help preserve or historical sites?
Because I look at what the society did when they moved the barn. They got funding to put the sprinkler system in and some other amenities.
But that was part of the moving project. So it was they got funding as part of the move, but it wasn't like we
It was
promised
after- It
them.
was after we moved it
Yeah.
that they said we had to get the sprinkler system in, so they went through the state or what have you and got the funding. I mean, we have the county barn up there, and that's what they're saying it's not stable enough. Well, right, reason, they don't have sprinkler system in there.
Well, that's good discussion. David?
So, Richard, what you're talking about where you're dipping into a pool, That's a grant, a block grant.
Yeah, a grant
Block
pool.
grants are very rare anymore, and they're not necessarily, here's a big pile of money, divvy it up. They don't really do that anymore. Most of these heritage things are reimbursements. Somebody does the work, and then they reimburse it either partway through or at the end of it. It's not, they're not going to give you the money and hope you do it, because people just don't
No.
always follow through with it, and how do you get it back from them? So, and grant money is tighter than tight. The Historical Society, we wrote, I think, 7, 8 grants last year, got one grant, and it was half the size it was supposed to be. The grants have disappeared over the last couple of years. It's just gone. You have to rely on people's charity now. There just isn't any free money out there. And there's nonprofits. I went to this nonprofit gathering that the city did, and there were, I want to say, there were probably 40 nonprofits there.
About 20.
20.
Yeah.
Every one of us with our hands out, because there just isn't any money. So it's going to be really tough to come up with money to give people to redo their houses when they're worried about people's mouths, their food, their clothes, keeping themselves in their house. So it's going to be tough for a couple of years until the
I think-
economy improves.
I think the big thing is just make the people aware that there is potential for funding.
Yep. So let's keep that in mind for the convention that we have coming up in July. Okay. Can we move on to Maplewood Heritage Award? Joe?
We had put a call out for people to nominate for the Heritage Award. I had heard some conversation among the folks on the commission that they were going to apply. Unfortunately, as of today, no one has applied or nominated someone for the award. So we could do one of two things. We could not award this year, or we could push it out and reopen the application process through the month of June and try to find a designee for July.
Well, that might be prudent. Why don't we push it to June? If we don't get any applicants, then, we'll skip it this year. Pete was a recipient, and that's it. So, Joel, this is the Heritage Award, and there's a plaque back there on the wall that names all those that have received this award, and it's probably, Pete, how long has it been, 15, 20 years? All right, yeah. So you can look at that and see the names. Okay. Move on to consideration to move meeting time to 6 PM. Joe?
On this one, I would want this to be a 6-0 motion, so I would ask that we table this until Christy Reese is available to have the conversation.
Okay. Table this until our July meeting?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
Well, I'm not in favor of the move to 7.
that's fine. Okay, demo permits. Joe?
We have no demo permits
No
of
demo
significance.
permits, okay. And then we'll move on to number 7, Historical Society update. David? Oh, it's not.
Oh, you asked me to take that off permanently? I thought it was for that one meeting. I could take it off.
So, update would be that our farmers markets every Sunday start first weekend in June. We have camps that'll be starting I believe, the third week in June. So that's the update for now.
Good, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to number 8, County Fair in July. Richard, you seem to know about that. Tell us about
Well,
it.
they're going to have the fair, I think it's around the 17th or somewhere in there. I haven't heard too much, but they can't use the barn. Why? Because they're claiming it's unsafe. Why is it unsafe? Well, we all know. Back when they did some other stuff, they were supposed to put an elevator in there, and that never got done. And money from that, I think, went to our historical society. So really, and then a couple of years ago, they took the ramp or the stairway off the south end, didn't tell anybody, but they just did it.
Actually, hang on a second. I want to be careful that we're talking about an entity that's not connected to us without that person representing that entity. I don't want anything on the record or on the recording, somebody watching this that's not supported by fact. So a couple of things. On the Ramsey County's website, they're resuming a 113-year-old tradition. It will be this year from Thursday, July 16th to Sunday, July 19th. It will run on the weekdays from 4 to 10. Saturday will go from noon to 10. Sunday will go noon to 8. I would say any other conversation about the Ramsey County Fair should come from them and not speculation from members. Also, I would say that the staircase came in front of this commission and we voted on it. We voted to approve their changes to the staircase. We
Well,
showed.
what I was getting at is maybe the commission should take a booth or something to talk about what the historical commission does in Maplewood. It's not so much the building, we're supposed to educate the public. And what do? We don't have anybody in here, so why not go out?
The purview of this commission is to oversee, because it is a designated site, we oversee any alterations to that building to ensure that they comply with all of the reasons why it was designated. So we have no jurisdiction over the county fair, or we can't tell them what to teach, and we're not, this commission is, while it's nice that we do historic conversations, that is the Maplewood Area Historical Society. We're the preserver of the property, they're the preserver of the story.
Okay,
I got a little tidbit for the fair.
Pete,
Very excited it's back, by the way. Long fought to bring it back. And looking at the schedule here, it looks like, as far as I can tell, they're having, let's see, what I'm trying to find out, are they having open class exhibits where you submit things to be judged? And I think, if I'm reading it right, that they do. So that's kind of nice to have that back. And probably what people want to hear is there will be fireworks on, I think, the 17th. Yes, 17th will be fireworks. And what I don't know, is there any parade this year? Did you hear it, Joe?
I don't know for sure if there's a parade.
Okay. So, nice to bring the historic fair back, which is always fun.
speaking of fireworks, there will be fireworks on the 4th of July down in St. Paul. That's going to be nice. Okay. That moves us to number 9, buildings that could be added to.
This is the conversation we had when we reconsidered the KSTP tower. We talked about drafting a letter to those homeowners. That's what this one was. Or
Okay.
I should say property owners.
Okay. Move on to number 10, houses with historical or historical additions, houses.
I believe we combined the two into one. The way Commissioner Curry lined it up, it was, let's discuss buildings and houses that could go on the 100-year designation list.
Thank you, Joe.
I think with that, if we wait until that website is up with all the houses on it again, that's going to be a lot easier to deal with that, because that's what's coming, that's what Koski put together.
Oh, the
And that should be
website of all the houses?
live, I would think, relatively soon, correct?
We're in the process of redoing the city's website. We're hoping to have everything finalized by July, August, late July, early August.
And tying in with that is, how do we add places on that?
So the way Koski said it, when I say Koski, for Commissioner Pfeiffer's backstory, the commissioner who was here prior to you, her name was Laura Koski, and she did a diligent job of collecting both information on both historic houses and 20 historic properties. Some included houses, some just included general sites that were of significant historic value to Maplewood. That is the interactive list that will be up on the website. The 100 houses we'll keep internally as a repository, but we won't necessarily have those houses on. We don't have enough room on the database to do that. So the list that Commissioner Koski had put together was a list that had the 20 most sort of significant properties.
Right, but she's not on the commission. How is the commission?
She has,
Did
she submitted,
leave the
she submitted all the paperwork, and we have it.
Draw on the,
No, we don't have drawing. We submitted it via an Excel spreadsheet, and then our GIS team will work with that Excel spreadsheet to put it on the map.
Okay, very good. Okay, that's number 11. And then number 12 was a 70-year celebration. Anybody know about that? Is there anything?
So far, the city doesn't have an official 70-year celebration list. Coincidentally, I was asked this week, what are we doing for the 250th anniversary of the country? Again, outside sort of my day-to-day, but I am open to comments, questions, ideas going forward. The city will be turning 70 years old in 2027.
Okay, that's.
So if there's anything that this commission wants to do, my feeling was, again, just brainstorming was wait till the 75th, do something big for the 75th. We just celebrated the 60th a couple of years ago. We created a booklet of 60 stories, and we shared, in addition to the booklet, we shared the 60 stories
Right.
at the MCC, the Maplewood
thing is,
Community Center.
we should, you almost have to start now planning for maybe the 75th, yeah,
Right.
because it takes us that long to get everything clicking.
Well, at 75, that'd be,
We'll be 80.
no, 75, 57 and 75 is what? 82? Is it 80? Is it 82? Is that right?
Yeah, it would be 2032.
Oh, 2032, all right.
Yeah,
All
it'd be
right, we can
2032.
shoot for that. Okay,
So, Richard, would you be interested in being the one who comes up with some ideas and share with us at the next meeting?
Interested in what?
Coming up with a list of things you would like to see and share it with us
Well,
at the next
I
meeting.
ran the 50th.
No, good. You're the experienced
It's
guy.
just, the only thing is now, the city pulled out of the cable commission, so we don't have them to,
The city does have a pretty robust communications department, I know. We have a city channel that runs, but you also have to remember the tone, like, of how people consume information and news. They're not sifting through waiting to see it on Channel 16. They want to see it, so whatever we do would have to kind of meet the moment of social media, interactive website, more so, even more importantly, a community gathering. It'd be nice that one of the things that where I think the 60 Stories did real well is it captured our city's history up to like the 1970s, and 50 years later, none of the stories since the 1970s have been captured. So talking about newer people who've come to our community, newer businesses that have come to our community, contributions from other entrepreneurs, families, those types of stories, I think would be
that's what we
significant.
did. We had, Schroeder Milk came with a semi-load of milk products and dairy products. Goldens came with a bunch of food down there. The donut shop down that way somewhere. I went to a lot of the businesses, and the thing is, what they tried to do is charge the city tried to charge it, and they eliminated the charge of the fee there, because there's a fee when you have any product going out of here.
Pete?
I got a quick win if you want one for the 250th and the 70th. Historically, we've always made buttons for anniversaries in Maplewood, going back to as far as the fall festivals. So what you could do is do a button that has USA 250, and also on the bottom you could say Maplewood 70 with the date. Even though it's 2027, it's February, it's always kind of a tricky month to celebrate much, so you could do a twofer and I'm sure you can use the official 250th imagery. I'm sure that's got to be free, I would guess. And then a maple leaf at the bottom with the 70th, so you could do a quick win for 2 if you want, and it doesn't take much to make those.
Well,
So,
I know in that 50th year, we had
yeah, we had a lot for the
We
50th,
had
but,
one project a month. We had a car show in,
yeah.
what was it, September, and the city, Chuck Hall said he didn't have a trailer. I counted 11 of them up there.
Okay.
They wanted us to spend $2,000 for the
Oh,
Ramsey
I-
County.
I'd be willing to do a mock-up if you want.
Yeah, I could,
Or you can.
if that's the idea, we
Yeah.
have,
It's
we
just
have
something, just to,
folks on the
you
team
know.
who could do it. What I would ask, if you're willing to do it, is come up with some practical things that we could use. The 250th might be too quick to do, but some practical things that we could think about for the 75th anniversary. I like the idea. 75th.
Oh, 5 years out?
Anniversary of the city.
Oh,
This
boy.
way we have some time to plan. I mean, we could put together one pretty quick. Might not be as robust as you would do 75, but if you have any idea, whether it's 70 or 75, any ideas, any things we could do for the next couple of months as we ramp up to, I would imagine, right, it would be something that would run from February of 2027 all the way through sort of the following January of 28.
Well, I hate to say it, Pete, but I think we should concentrate on the 75. I think,
75? Well, I'm fine with that, too.
yeah.
Yeah, when I heard 80, I thought, I ain't gonna be around.
Yeah, so if anybody wants to send me ideas of things we should be brainstorming, things we should put on our radar,
Yeah.
it's not something that we have to like solve tonight, but just, it's important that we start the conversation to think about it.
Okay, that beats that up enough. I want to go back to the oldest building in Maplewood. Joel, for your edification, that was on our agenda in January, oldest building in Maplewood.
You got it?
Yeah, you can review that
Do you
for us,
have
Pete.
it? I mean, I got it if you want it.
Yeah, please tell us.
1867 at 2591 Stillwater Road East. So it's a South Legger is the oldest building in Maplewood.
Say that again. 1867.
Yep, in 2591 Stillwater Road East. As far as I know, it's still there.
Is it that
Well,
white,
they just
white
had a fire
house?
down that way.
I think so. I think it's the white one. I think you're right.
All right.
Yep.
So if you go on Stillwater Road in between
Century McKnight.
McKnight, just off of McKnight to the east, 2591 Stillwater, or excuse me, 1891
No, 2591. You got it right.
91 Stillwater was built in 1867, right after the Civil War.
Yep.
Are we relying on that information, Pete?
That's what I got. I can't confirm nor deny it, I guess.
All right.
Is that east of Century?
Yes. It's on the south.
East
it's
of
on the north
McKnight,
side.
west of Century.
Not across the freeway, though.
No, it's on it's on the north side, and there's a funeral home very close to it. It's either one or two,
Oh, Maple Oaks Funeral Home right next to it, I think, is it?
right. It's a white building, white house.
He was a,
You have it.
Maple
Got
Oaks
it. There
was
it is. Yep, that's it. Look at that. Nice.
He was on the, he
Technology.
was on East County Line Fire.
That's in good shape.
Mr. Chair, can I bring up one more thing before I forget it? Zoom in.
We,
Not me.
we could actually, that's gonna be too far for them to zoom. Let's put
Okay.
the overhead.
Yeah.
Actually, if you give me the address, hopefully
It's 2175.
Well, Pete, we all knew that, but thanks for
Oh,
telling us.
I thought you didn't know it.
Yeah.
I thought you were asking. I didn't know that.
They talk about it all the time.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know how
There it is.
much you could zoom in on that, but
Have they been reached out to if they'd be interested in being on the local designation?
I'm not aware that they have, but we'll definitely, like I said, I'll double check to make sure they're on the database that we have, and then we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, that,
I have one more thing, Mr. Chair, can I bring up?
yes, Pete.
We had a fire at the bulk storage facility. I believe that was in Maplewood, right?
Are you talking about the one on 1300 McKnight Road?
Yeah, they're calling it a depot that burned, and I don't know the story behind it, but that was in Maplewood, right?
Yes.
Okay. It wasn't a demo, but it demoed itself. So I don't know if there's anything the commission wants to document that building. I don't know anything about it. I saw the pictures before and after. I don't know if there's a history to it. They called it a depot, which is interesting. I guess it could have been, but
What did,
Yeah, they said there was a depot there
yeah, that's what burned up, as far as I know. So,
earlier, or like a week
Big
earlier
building.
or something.
John, tell us.
John, you know what?
there's the big building.
Yeah, the big one didn't burn.
They have that as marked as, if there's a fire, you let it burn. Because it's all wood. They were gonna put a sprinkler system in maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Okay.
It cost a fortune.
Yeah.
You had to go across to all those people's land
Yeah.
up above there to the south. So I was in the committee, we voted that they didn't have to sprinkle the building.
Oh,
But
okay,
but there was only one guy working there, and part-time.
okay.
And so there was no real, the fire department said, if it burns, it burns, it's done. But what I understood is the little office they built, that's the thing that burned,
Okay.
not the big building.
No.
Oh,
no,
okay.
the big one didn't.
You're talking about on the railroad tracks
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Off of,
I didn't know how old that building was. Does anybody know? How old was
It was,
that building?
I don't have it in front of me, but I could
Okay.
take a look. I know it's one of the buildings, it was part of our building tour, so it was a part of the city that the Community Development Department was looking to resell and redevelop. I know that the property owner had it on and off the market. There was a certain number they wanted to get for it, they never did. So I know it was a redevelopment site. I don't think I have to double check. I don't know for sure if the building was active or not, but I don't believe it was. So it was initially a site for redevelopment. It was,
Okay.
yeah. And I don't know if they were going to keep the building intact or knock it down, but
Okay.
So just a side note on the oldest house in Maplewood, it's been completely rehabbed.
Oh,
The inside of it's been remodeled
Okay.
totally, and most of the porches and stuff have been redone with modern materials, so that's.
Okay.
That's not gonna be on our list. And that's, when I try to come up with that list, I looked at as many of the real estate signs as you can, because once they've been remodeled inside, if they're not redoing the woodwork, the original woodwork, it's not gonna be a house that qualifies, it really isn't. I mean, the exterior maybe, but a lot of the interiors have been completely gutted and redone in 60s and 70s materials.
Okay.
thanks, David. Okay, we're going to wrap up here with a couple of things. Our next meeting would be July. We have- anybody have-
July 9th to be exact.
July 9th, so that is right before the parade, or, no, the firework, or the,
So we, just so you know, for historic purposes, the city has transferred the 4th of July. We now do Friday fireworks in September, so the city no longer has a 4th of July festivity. That will kind of fall between the Ramsey County Fair. It's about the week before the Ramsey County Fair.
And it'll rain this year again for them.
yeah, that's okay, I can do that. Joe, do you recall the dates of the national,
Yeah, the national dates, I believe, are July 22nd through the 26th. It's multiple days. I will say for the three folks who did respond to me, we were able to get scholarship money. So the cost of so that would be Commissioner Pfeiffer, Commissioner Hughes, and Commissioner Reese have all registered. And we do have.
I think I applied to you.
Did you reply to
I
me?
replied to you that same day you sent that note out.
All right, because I didn't have you in my list, so,
Yep.
all right. So we do have scholarships available for those to, both, what I did is left the scholarship open-ended, and so it covers the cost of the conference. It also covers your parking for the day, And if you did want to apply for any of the, tours, we've earmarked $80 per day for the tours.
Okay, very good. Okay, is there anything
So
else?
I'm not on that list, right?
No.
Okay. You had said earlier I was, but it's all right. You get everything goofed up there.
All right.
Okay, so,
Then I won't plan.
the unfinished business? None?
Is that list of the 20 most significant structures, is that available to us?
I don't have it available publicly, but I could send it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And actually, you might want to send him the sheets with all the 100-year-old houses, so he
No.
has that for his.
Okay, any visitor presentations? None? Is there a motion to adjourn? Or adjourn?
I second it.
Did anybody make the motion?
Or adjourn?